Hola, hola, family and friends. It's your big bald-headed sister, Action Jacqueline. Good morning. Is it morning still? It's afternoon now. Late to the party. Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's your big bald-headed sister, Action Jacqueline, fellow alopecia princess. For those of you who don't know what alopecia is, I think we're going to cover that today. I don't have a lot of time, but I have enough time to spend with you guys. I really want to get out the house today on time. It seems like lately, every time I try to leave the house, it's late in the day, and then I have to rush back so I don't get everything done. So today I want to get out fast, but there's so much to talk about. We're going to do the Bald Girl News Roundup. We're going to talk about scalp hair removal. Laser scalp hair removal, and I have here, if you see below me, I have a TikTok video that I want to look at. It's the only TikTok video I've ever found that actually chronicles someone's progress with laser hair removal. Everything else seems to, ooh, look, I'm doing this weird. Everything else seems to just be photos of the process. Or videos of the process, which is incomplete. Like when you want to get something like that done, you definitely want to hear from people at all stages of the process. And this one was really interesting because he talked about the good and the bad. In fact, you're going to be watching this with me for the first time. I only watched like the first 2.5 minutes of it, and already I was convinced that this was worthy of us discussing in the Bald Girl Gossip Room. So we'll watch that together. And hello, welcome to this very warm July day. And I hope everybody's doing well. All right, I'm going to do my makeup, do my, like always, but I start with the jewelry because you guys know how important I think it is to feel pretty with no makeup on at all before putting that wig on. Something about putting on a wig each and every day and knowing that you kind of rely on it is disheartening, right? So if you're confident in knowing that you feel good about yourself before that wig goes on your hair, I feel like that's a good place to be, So I always start with jewelry because I don't feel like jewelry is a problem, especially if I can sleep in jewelry. I sleep in my jewelry. I don't play about my jewelry. It's like my one accessory. I have no eyelashes. I have no eyebrows. I have nothing to lean on. So I just got to stay fit, keep this skin just as smooth as possible, do whatever I have to do, eat right, whatever, because I have nothing to lean on. This is all me. The only thing I lean on is this jewelry just to make myself feel better. And then afterwards, I put the wig on, and that actually just makes me feel more confident, not confident or secure in my day, because then I know I don't have to deal with nosy people staring, pointing, asking questions and things like that, which really I don't like. But anyhow, let's go ahead and check out this video. First, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to check my TikTok because I have to do that separately. So I'm going to go ahead and check my TikTok to make sure. Oh, I'm not on TikTok. That's where they took away my TikTok access again, which is so problematic. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here with me on YouTube. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play this so that you can see this guy and his laser hair removal journey. The reason why I got into this topic, like I started to lock in to this topic, is because so many people have told me that the reason they don't go bald, which is something that they want to do, is because they have patchy hair loss and they don't like I guess the patches that are left behind. You guys know that when you shave your head, especially if you have naturally dark hair, you're never going to be able to get rid of the 5 o'clock shadow that whatever hair you have left behind shows. And the reason why is because the pigment is still present in your skin. So that's the reason why. And this laser hair removal process is supposed to take care of it. I don't know how accurate that is. So before, I start recommending it to people, let's go ahead and take a look. I can't even find it now. Look, y'all, I'm so slow. Here we go. Trying to speed things up these days.
So it's been nearly 2 weeks since I had my first session of laser, and it's growing really patchy, but also like my hair is like falling out when I just like, I mean, I guess that's a good thing, but it's been nearly 3 weeks now. I have shaved my head, but look at how my hair is growing. Crazy. It's definitely working. So it's been nearly 2 weeks since I had my first session of laser, and it's growing really patchy, but also like,
Okay, so that's the end of the
my
video.
hair is like falling out.
Also, I watched the first like 10 seconds, and I guess this was only a 30-second long video. So he doesn't show where what it looks like in the end. I noticed that a lot of laser removal companies like to show the final product on the day that the person is leaving electrolysis. So it always looks perfect because they're only going to film, obviously, they're only going to film the ones that look great, right? Because I saw some like this one here. This one looked fantastic. Honestly, that one looks so perfect that like part of me doesn't even think it's real. Part of me thinks that this is just a hoax. Like this is somebody just like me who doesn't have any hair and they just sat down to pretend to have electrolysis. Because my God, when you compare it, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Let's see what they're saying in the comments before I go ahead and start claiming that people are lying. I'm very much a naysayer, by the way. Like whenever there's a story, I always think it's a lie. Oh, that's always my first go-to. Oh, it is so satisfying how much. And La Vie Spa Gardens, I don't know. I really have a hard time like connecting with these kinds of videos because they tell you nothing. They just show you a result, like a result. How many results go wrong? If you guys have any at all, hi Chill VR. If you guys have any experience at all with laser hair removal, I would love if you guys talk about it here in the comments so that we can discuss it. This kind of conversation is really important for people like us. You guys are in the Bald Girl Gossip Room. So this is where we don't gatekeep. We don't hold back our feelings. If we're feeling sad, if we're feeling insecure, we talk about it. And we uplift one another. That's how we do it, right, guys? So if you have experiences to share, I would love to hear them in the comments. So how's it going, Chill VR? It's good to have you here. Chill VR is the only person who is communicating with me right now. But I appreciate having you there, my love. Okay, so what we're going to talk about as well, we're going to go through the bald girl news. But first, I have to get these eyebrows on because I spend too much time without eyebrows in these videos, I've noticed. And I don't like the way I look when I look back at it. That's the one place where I do feel insecurity is in my eyebrows. Even the eyelashes, like I can get past. Even though that I remember when they first fell out, like how much I missed them. I don't even remember, I don't remember what they looked like when I did have them, to be honest. It's been so long since I had my eyebrows. And let me take this off so you guys can take a look at me. How do I change back to my screen? I'm sorry. Main page. Hey, guys. I'm here. Thank you. Big Boom says, hello, what's up, bestie? Big Boom is my bestie, y'all. How's it going, love? Chili VR says, I love you. You love my stream? Thank you. I love having you here as part of my stream. Honestly, I do this so that I can connect with other people from the hair loss community because, like, honestly, if you went outside, you would never stumble across these people. And a few times that I do stumble across bald women, I don't know what it is, but they don't seem very friendly. Have you guys ever experienced that? Chill VR says you don't need this stuff. What stuff? What are you talking? Oh, the makeup? Chill VR, if I don't put on this makeup, I feel like hell, okay? I might not need the makeup in the house, but when I go outside, oh God, I need something. I need something. Yeah, what was I saying? I don't even know. I completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, what was I saying? I think I lost it. Oh, that's weird. All right, so I've already moisturized. I've moisturized with almond oil all over my face, all over my neck. I've been focusing a lot on my neck lately because I've noticed that as I age, my neck becomes more obvious. Just my neck. Like, I don't think I've ever paid attention to my neck until like the past 2 years, until all of a sudden my neck became a thing. Who's at my door? So now, like, I'm very careful to always moisturize it all the time. So I use almond oil, which I don't have in front of me right now. And then all day long, I'm like reapplying Vaseline. This is just reapplying because I do not want to get stringy neck. Hey, daughter. My daughter just walked into the house. Is it lunchtime? Yeah. Oh, nice to have you home, baby. Okay, so now that I've primed my face, I'm going to go ahead and put on the concealer. Big Boon says, in my opinion, most Black women do not need makeup. They are naturally beautiful. I don't know. I've seen some Black women without makeup. And I'm like, oh, maybe a little bit makeup might do. I mean, in general, I don't know. I feel like I look better with that. You know what it is? I think once you put on makeup and you accustom yourself to the way you look with makeup, it's hard to go back to not wearing it. So you're probably right. Can I say your name? Yeah. Can I say your name, Bestie, or do I have to call you Big Boom? You're probably right, Big Boom. But since I've been wearing makeup since I was like 14 years old, I started wearing makeup right after my eyebrows fell out and my eyelashes fell out because I started drawing on eyeliner to kind of act as eyelashes because I didn't know how to apply lashes. And then, of course, I had to draw on my brows because I didn't even have these tattoos. Now I have these tattoos, which are old and green at this point, so I have to go over it. If you were wondering, I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible, and I'm wearing her in color. Oh my God, this container is so old. I don't even have the color name. Milan, what color do we use? My daughter and I use the same exact color, even though my daughter, oh, here it is. Even though my daughter is like probably two shades browner than I am.
I think I need a new one.
You need a new one? Word of it.
No, like a new shade.
Oh, you need a new shade? Really? Because the one you're using doesn't work? So yeah, she went out this summer a lot to the beach. And she got much toastier. Which is funny. You know what? I don't know if this has anything to do with the autoimmune disease part of alopecia, but I developed some sort of sun allergy. And I now get like hives when I spend so much time in the sun. It's really terrible. So I don't know what that's about. Also, I don't have an autoimmune disease. I've been cleared of that. So I don't even understand the whole thing now. Speaking of which, I also stumbled across an article. I don't know if you guys know this or not. Of course, you know, if you never looked for this, then you wouldn't know. But just today in Wikipedia, the definition of alopecia areata was updated. So do you guys want to take a look at that? Let me pull that up and show you what their new definition is as of today. This just was updated. So I'm going to show you what the new definition of alopecia areata is. As soon as I pull this up, if I can just be quick about it. Here we go. Wikipedia alopecia. Yeah, so this was just updated today. So that's pretty cool that we get to see this as it's unfolding, as the story unfolds. Media focus. Let me get this off. So how do I know that this was updated today? I only know because I saw it in the news. They don't put the date here, do they? Oh my God, it's so long. Anyway, let's just read the first part of it. This is probably a good idea as well, because when I explain alopecia, I don't like to explain it in the medical sense, only because it doesn't make sense to me any longer as it's explained in the medical sense, since I was cleared of having an autoimmune disease. About 3 years ago, I was tested. I thought maybe I might have rheumatoid arthritis because my knee started to swell up and hurt. I don't, by the way. I thought I had it, so I started getting tested for it. So I had all these tests run to see if I had an autoimmune condition, and the doctor was like, "No, you don't have any autoimmune conditions." And I'm looking at the doctor and square in the face, and I'm like, "You do realize I have alopecia universalis?" And he's like, "It's just one of those things." That's literally what he said. So clearly, science doesn't have this all figured out. So I do like to see information as it unfolds. So let me go ahead and read this to you guys. It says, alopecia areata, also known as spot baldness, is a condition in which hair is lost from some or all areas of body. It often results in a few bald spots on the scalp, each about the size of a coin. Psychological stress and illness are possible factors in bringing on alopecia areata in individuals at risk, but in most cases, there is no obvious trigger. People are generally otherwise healthy. In a few cases, all the hair on the scalp is lost, or all body hair is lost. Hair loss can be permanent or temporary. Okay. Alopecia areata is believed to be an autoimmune disease resulting from a breach in the immune privilege of the hair follicles. Okay, this is where it gets juicy because I've never heard it explained this way. Alopecia areata is believed to be an autoimmune disease resulting from a breach in the immune privilege of the hair follicles. Risk factors include a family history of the condition among identical twins. If one is affected, the other has about 50% chance. The underlying mechanism involves failure by the body to recognize its own cells, with subsequent immune-mediated destruction of the hair follicle. Okay, so that's how I understood it to be. The underlying mechanism involves failure by the body to recognize its own cells, with subsequent immune-mediated destruction of the hair follicle. Wow, imagine if I had to explain to that to someone on the street. That's why I simply just say, "Oh, I don't grow hair." When people ask me, "Oh, are you sick?" No, I'm not sick. Because that's true. We figured that out according to this definition. People are generally otherwise healthy. Here I am, otherwise healthy. I wouldn't be lying there. And I don't grow hair because I don't have an autoimmune disease. I was cleared of that twice. Because after that first test, I was like, "No, I don't believe you." So I went and I got a second opinion, had the same panel of tests run again. And they never even called me back because they didn't even feel the need to call me since my my paperwork came back negative. So I had to call them like, "Doctor, I took some tests. Can I get the results?" And he's like, "Oh, everything was fine. That's why we didn't call you." I'm like, I don't know if that's just a New York thing or what, but I noticed that when I spent that month out of state with my dad as he was having his open heart surgery, the medical system in other states is way more friendly. I mean, like, how dare you not call me back? Regardless of the results, I mean, you'd think the guy would at least call me back. I didn't even get a call back. He was just like, "Oh, it was fine. That's why we didn't call." Why we didn't call you? I'm like, oh my God. All right. So you guys want to read some more about this alopecia, or do we have enough of that so far? All right. So I'm going to stop here. In the meantime, let's continue on. Oh, we'll talk here because they start talking about the cures. Okay. Alopecia areata is believed to be an autoimmune disease resulting from... Oh, we already read that. Okay. So no cure for the condition is known. Some treatments, particularly triamcinolone injections and 5% minoxidil topical creams, are effective in speeding hair growth. I did those, y'all. I had those injections and they did work, but they required me to go back every 2 weeks to get more injections. And so eventually I just quit. I was like, this is too much. I can't live like this. It was like being on dialysis, just constantly at the doctor's office, all for hair. It's like, you know what? I'll just wear wigs. So sunscreen, head coverings to protect from cold and sun, and glasses, if the eyelashes are missing, are also recommended. sunscreen. The sunscreen doesn't even help me with my sun allergy that I have now, by the way. In more than 50% of cases of sudden onset localized patchy disease, hair regrows within a year. In patients with only 1 or 2 patches, this 1-year recovery will occur in up to 80%. Okay, so I know a lot of people who have had patches of hair loss, so I know this is accurate. So many people, like I've become known in my circle. So I grew up in Southeast Jamaica, Queens, right? And in this area, I'm kind of known as the alopecia girl, right? So that's why I decided to name myself Action Jacqueline, the alopecia princess, because if I'm going to be the alopecia girl, y'all going to name me a princess, okay? So whenever, and I swear, people have called me up after decades of not speaking to me to ask me about their hair loss. Like they were like, in fact, I just got a text from someone. They showed me a photo of the back of their head, and they were like, "What do you think this is, Jackie?" You know, I told the person what it was, and then we went on. But I mean, to be honest, I did not expect that kind, like from this person. It was very, very odd, and it basically just drives home the point that yes, indeed, I am the local alopecia princess. So yeah, I'm the girl you call when your hair falls out. So yeah, I did for that reason. I have met a lot of people who have suffered some sort of hair loss, and usually, one little oh, yikes, one little session of injections takes care of it. And they might have to go back like once every 5 years, which is completely doable. Not like my case, which, you know, my hair loss is very aggressive. So I had to go back every 2 weeks, which was a lot. Only also because it wasn't just one spot. Like I had a spot here, a spot there, a spot here, thinning here. Like it was just all over. So it was obviously just a much bigger ordeal to try to regrow this hair. And during that time, it was the hardest part for me. One, because I was transitioning between having hair loss and regrowth because I was still regrowing the hair. So that was like living in limbo, and that lasted years, y'all. And that's why I started to look into this electrolysis thing. For those of you who are just joining me now, thank you for joining me, by the way. I was looking into the hair laser removal for the scalp, and just a few minutes ago, we checked out some videos about the process and how it works out. The gentleman, in fact, you know, we didn't even comment about that. We didn't really about that video we saw. I'd like to look at it one more time and talk about it just a little because it was interesting. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. Ooh, where's it at? Here we go. All right, so this is what pictured here is, I guess, someone at the end of their treatment. Apparently, the treatment is multiple treatments. I don't know how many, like 4 or 5. We could sit here and go through it ourselves, but I think it'll take a whole lot of time. So I don't know if we want to do that. But I thought this one video was really interesting because it chronicled one gentleman's journey, and it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best journey. So I like to see like the negative reviews as much as I like to see the positive ones. So let me go ahead and pull it up. Hang on a second. Here we are. Where did that guy go? No, that's my sister, y'all. Oh, that's my sister. That's not what I wanted to find, but that's my sister. Check her out. She's a model / actress. I completely lost. Oh, here it is. This is the guy. So we can look at a few of his videos.
It's been nearly 2 weeks since I had my first session of laser, and it's growing really patchy, but also like my hair is like falling out when I just like. I mean, I guess that's a good thing, but it's been nearly 3 weeks now. I have shaved my head, but look at how my hair is growing. Crazy. It's definitely working.
Okay, so this guy, right? Oh, this is electrolysis. Oh, this would never work for someone who has like patchy hair loss. Never, never. That would never work. What's this one here? So first, let's talk about this gentleman who I don't know what his situation is. It looks like he has male pattern baldness because of the receding in the front. But then in the back, it looks like he has alopecia. And I don't know, like patchy alopecia. And I don't know if that's caused from the or the hair laser hair removal or not. So I guess I would have to like follow his journey further.
So it's been nearly 2 weeks since I had my first session.
To know that. Let me look at him. Oh, I don't know what that is. We're not going to be able to find that. Not really quickly, anyway.
2 weeks since I had my first session of laser, and it's growing really patchy.
Let me hear what's going on in the comments. Okay, so we're going to talk just a little bit more about this, and then in a news article was written just yesterday. It was printed that was supposed to list the top wig brands, top human hair wig brands and companies to buy from. And I didn't read the whole article. I wanted to read it with you guys. But what was interesting was they were naming brands I had never heard of. You guys know how I feel about human hair. I still want to find a nice, beautiful human hair wig, but I will not spend a lot of money on it at this point because I already know that these wigs, largely, even if you spend $2,000 on a wig, if it's a lace wig, you're not going to honestly get more than like 4 months of daily wear out of that wig because the lace area will start to thin out, and then you'll have bald scalp again. So it's like losing your hair all over again. So $2,000, $3,000, which I have spent, y'all. I know whatever number I'm spewing out right now sounds ridiculous, but I have spent that much money on a good wig because I tend to wear lighter wig colors like blondes and ash color wigs, which have been dyed. So in general, these companies don't always do a great job of delivering a bleached blonde or bleached ash color wig without damaging it. You guys know, even if you have your own natural hair, if you try to lift natural black hair to a lighter shade, a lot of times you end up damaging it. And that's no different for the wig industry. They end up damaging their hair quite often. And I know this for a fact because I've dealt with it on a number of occasions, spent way too much money on these blonde wigs, wanting them because, they have the ombre effect, because, that sort of thing. I do prefer a color that has depth to it, dark, shades, low lights versus highlights and things like that. And all of those things tend to damage human hair. All of those processes to get at those colors tend to damage the human hair. So, I feel a way about human hair, but I still want one because when I have had them in the past, my God, do they ever look so beautiful when you get your hands on a really nice one. But then they cost a ton of money. I don't know. That's the cognitive dissonance that goes with wig wearing. We know that we're spending way too much money. We know the wig is not going to last forever, but somehow we just keep buying it, keep doing the same things over and over again. I guess because we just love getting kicked in the butt. So hold on. Let's just go through these comments again. What is this guy saying? When I did my beard, I loved rubbing my beard and watching how much hair fell out. Ha ha ha. That sucks. I really, that time period of hair loss is the worst. I mean, just seeing all that hair on your pillow, recognizing how odd it looks. Like you do end up looking sickly during those times because people identify that sort of hair loss with sickness. I'm sure they look at me and think I'm sick as well, but there's something about being actively sick versus being comfortably like hair lost. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying right now, but I think you guys know what I mean, right? Anyway, let's keep going. And then this person says, you should exfoliate a week after, at least twice a week, and all those hairs will fall out. Oh, this person says she works at a laser clinic. Oh, that's good advice. You should exfoliate a week after, at least twice a week, and all those hairs will fall out. Oh, that's cool to know. You ever notice that doctors tell you things to do that they've never themselves had to do? So they're like, oh, all you have to do is this, even though they've never done it themselves to even test it out for themselves. That's why I don't give advice. That's why I don't tell people to do things, because what you experience could be completely different than what I experience. In a world of Turkish hair transplants, blaze your own trail and truly customize your cat. What does that even mean? I don't know what that means. All right, so we're gonna get out these comments, and then we're gonna look up these. Hello, son. How can I help you? Ooh, look at all the hair growth. My son just took the braids out of his hair. Wow, I wish you could come stand here and show these people, but you don't have any shirt on. I don't want them. I don't want all my. I don't want all my viewers to go lusting after you.
Okay.
I would tell my son to put a shirt on, but it literally, it has to be at least 85 degrees in this house, and I don't know why, because the AC is on. Is the AC on, by the way? Because it feels like it's not.
Well, why would it be?
What?
Why would it be?
Why would it be?
Here.
You're not hot?
No.
Oh wow, I'm like schwitzing. Okay, so I did say I was going to finish doing these brows, right? I talked entirely too much. I mean, the plan is to get on here to talk, not just to sit over here and do makeup. So it's hard to do both at the same time. But yeah, let's go over this list of hair companies based on this article. Where'd it go? Best wig companies in 2025. I'm going to pull it up for you. Oh, that was weird. Where did I find this? This just came from Life Hack. Life Hack. Okay, so this was printed in an article by Life Hack. Ooh, weird. Trusted brands. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. Stay with me. Stay with me. If you're here still, I appreciate having you. That's crazy. I can't find this article, y'all. It's here. I have it on my phone. TTV. Vocal Media. Oh my god, I finally found it. That was so hard. Thanks for staying with me. Y'all, if you like the vibes of this live, please hit and subscribe. Says Artsy Fartsy. Thank you so much, Artsy Fartsy. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a big minute, and it's nice to have you back. Yeah, I gotta find this though. Let me try this again. I found it. My God, that was hard as heck. All right. Thank you for staying. Artsy Fartsy, how you been? How have you been? Are you enjoying the summer so far? Has it been good to you? Me, myself, not so much. I did not like this. I have not enjoyed the summer at all. It's been trying and challenging. But slowly but surely, it's getting better. It's getting better. I'll be traveling again in a couple days, so hopefully that'll be nice. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this news article that was printed in Vocal Media. And it's titled Best Wig Companies in 2025. Trusted Brands for Premium Hair. All right, this is good. I don't know where they get this information from. And these top 5 articles, I got to tell you, again, I'm a skeptic. So take it with a grain of salt. But if they're saying that something is a number 1 company, I'm going to look into it. That definitely piques my interest. So let me start. Introduction. Why finding the best wig company matters. If you're searching for the best wig companies in 2025, you already know how overwhelming the options can be. From synthetic to human hair, HD lace to glueless wigs, the market is full of promises, but only a few brands deliver true value. 100% true on that. Sorry, y'all. That was disgusting. This guide will help you confidently choose the best wig company that offers high quality products, excellent service, and styling freedom. Whether you're buying for personal use or business, we'll show you what to look for and recommend reliable companies that stand out. Do you guys want me to get into all this, or you just want to get into the list? Let's just get into the list. I'll briefly show it to you. What's on the screen: high quality hair materials. Okay, so that's what they're saying. They said not all wig companies are created equal. Here's what defines the best wig company in today's competitive landscape. 1, high quality hair materials. 2, versatile wig types. 3, positive reviews and testimonials by verified customers with photos, 100% guaranteed. But even then, like, it's hard to say. I've as a social media personality, I have been approached by wig companies that promised me free wigs if I gave them a 5-star review before they sent me the free wig. Y'all heard that, right? Before they send me the free wig, I am supposed to give them a 5-star review, and then they'll give me the free wig. So right there, you know that there's a ton of people online giving fake reviews. I'm not here for it. Of course, I turn them down because I'm a person. I'm a real hair loss sufferer. I'm not like these other people who wear wigs for fun. There's a difference. We're not the same. So if you wear wigs for fun, it might feel like it's perfectly fine to lie and say that a wig is great. Because you don't know the pain and suffering someone goes through and the amount of money a person can spend in their lifetime trying to achieve the look of natural hair when they don't have any hair on their own. So I would never, ever do that to my viewers, ever. If I'm going to make money on this app, it's going to be another way. All right, so moving on from that. 4, customization options. 5, adjustable caps for different head sizes, bleach knots, baby hairs, all that stuff. Fast and reliable shipping. That's important too. Global shipping in 3 to 7 days. That's very important. Real-time traffic tracking and safe packaging. Okay, so number 1 on the list is Joyce Hair, Joice. Never heard of this company, so I find that so interesting that it's the number 1 on the list. Best overall wig company. Joyce Hair is leading the industry with premium 100% virgin and raw human hair wigs. They specialize in HD lace, offering global shipping and provide branding support for business clients. That's great. If I was to start a wig business, there was a time I wanted to start a wig business. And again, I could not find a reliable source that gave me consistent quality. So I quit trying. I mean, like, honestly, if somebody is going to lead a brand, I do feel like it's somebody who really identifies with the customer on a deep level, because to own a brand and know full well that it's possible that you're selling lemons to your clientele. That's wicked. That is a wicked thing to do. I don't know. Top tier hair quality, sample kits for testing. Ooh, they have sample kits. I wonder what that looks like. Like swatches. I don't know how much you could learn from a swatch about hair, except the color, because you really can't tell the quality, especially since on the swatch, naturally, they're going to give you the best stuff, right? Custom packaging for resellers, competitive wholesale prices, and excellent customer support. Okay, RPG Show is number 2 on the list. Okay, so we all know of RPG Show. Some of us have tried it. I have not. Known for celebrity-inspired lace wigs and ultra-realistic hairlines, highlights custom wig orders, 100% human hair with lace customization, premium pricing, but excellent longevity. Maybe it's time for me to invest in an RPG Show wig. I did visit the Joyce Hair website, and I liked what I saw. The prices were very reasonable too, like surprisingly so. Because a lot of times on these lists, they tend to list, stuff that caters to a more high-end clientele with lots of money. So it's nice to see that they started the list at a affordable price. Okay, so the next one is Unice. We all know about Unice. Problem is, a friend of mine was just testing Unice hair. She got one wig. She bought like a curly wig, fell in love with it. Curly, natural black wig, fell in love with it, and she decided at that point that she was going to try to get a blonde wig, which she was so happy to show me because she knows I wear blonde wigs at all. So she showed me all her pictures posing in these beautiful blonde wigs, and she was so happy with it. And then like a week later, she was like, girl, I can't stand that wig. It gave me so many problems. I'm trying to get them to send me a new one, but they telling me that it's too late and that I probably did something to it. And I'm just like, oh, this is the problem with these wigs every single time. And the thing is, it's not unlikely that another person bought a blonde wig from Unice and they had a great experience. So it's so arbitrary that every time you purchase one of these human hair wigs, it is a gamble. That's why I stick to my high-end synthetic wig, and I always get the same. I always get the same style because nowadays it's hard to find a store that carries these where you can sit down and try them on. So you don't get that experience of being able to try on several colors, several styles. So it's literally just here's $300. Please send me this wig, and when it arrives, I'll try it on, and hopefully it'll look nice. Which is just it's a headache. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, so the next one is Love Me Here. Okay, we know Love Me Here, a social media favorite known for trendy, ready-to-wear wigs. Pros, pre-cut lace options. Wait, they're doing pros and cons? Okay, they write the pros, but they don't do the cons. All right, I'll read you the pros. I'm sorry. Love Me Here, a social media favorite. Okay, blah. Pros, pre-cut lace options, affordable pricing for students and professionals. What, they have like discounts for students? You a whole liar. That's great. That's fantastic. That is nice if that's the case. Responsive customer service. Okay. And then Hair Vivi. Now, I've tried Hair Vivi, and I was in love with them. When I was wearing natural black hair, I thought they were the best company ever. And then I got older, realized I needed to lighten up my hair color. So I went for an ashier tone, and immediately I saw the difference in the quality of the hair. They sent me a damaged wig, y'all. They sent me a damaged wig. So the wig that I purchased was a natural black wig, and it had streaks of like ash blonde and ash brown hair. So the natural black hair was perfect, pristine hair. But the additional pieces that were bleached, they were all damaged, completely a different texture. Trying to work with that wig was a nightmare. I had to constantly be putting all kinds of products in it to lay it down. And then towards the end of a day, those damaged hairs would start to frizz out and look insane. And I spent a good amount of money on that wig because I went for the higher density. I went for the better lace. I went for the longer length. So I ended up spending probably, and this is going back about 5 years, I ended up spending a little over $500. I think it was about $560 for that wig. And I tolerated the nonsense of that wig for probably 3 weeks before I got so sick of it. And I ended up ordering my Zara wig again because it's so tried and true, my Zara wig. I know exactly what to expect from it. I know exactly how to style it, exactly where I need to thin out and how I need to cut it. So I just keep defaulting into it. But yeah, that was my experience with Hair Vivi. Great for natural black wigs, but not so great for the bleach stuff. And that's important. In case you guys don't know, most of the hair that we purchase is from Asian origin, meaning the hair is going to be natural black, because we all know Asian people typically have natural black hair. If you see an Asian person with blonde hair or brown hair, it's quite likely they colored it. And it's also quite likely it's damaged as well, because lifting dark hair into a lighter or ashier color requires a whole lot of torture to that hair. And if you're not careful, you'll probably damage it. Okay, so how to choose the best wig company for you. Not sure how to narrow it down? Follow this step-by-step process. Step 1, know your wig needs. Do you want a full lace wig or a lace wig? What's your budget? Do you prefer pre-styled or natural hairline wigs? And the answer is yes to all 3 of the questions. What's your budget? Yes, I have a budget. Do you want full lace or a lace front? You know what? Do you guys like full lace wigs, or do you prefer lace fronts? I feel like full lace wigs are kind of a waste of money, if you ask me. Because once we get back here out of the crown, like, it doesn't even matter. Does it? I don't know. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. In fact, I haven't even read in the comments. So how's it going, Kiki? Oh my God, Kiki, you have never joined my lives, and it's nice to see you. Kiki is an old friend of mine, y'all. We met online here in the community, and I'm really happy that you're joining me. Thank you, babes. Okay, so to be fair, I never schedule my lives. I just go on when I have the energy to do it, because being live requires a lot of energy. So if I tell you, okay, guys, I'm going to be going live at 2 p.m. on Monday, I have to come at 2 p.m. on Monday with some energy, regardless of how I actually feel. And because I have I don't know, maybe I have ADHD or something. I don't know. I can't even sit in front of a therapist long enough to get a diagnosis. But because I don't have I don't know, I don't have it under control, so I can't just bring you that 2 p.m. liveliness that I would like to be able to bring. I think a lot of people who do that, they drink Powerade drinks, or what are those energy drinks or whatever they do. A lot of them are doing, other things to get the energy up. And I know this is a thing, so I'm not doing that. So for that reason, I don't schedule my lives. That's probably why my lives are not as successful. In fact, I'm sure that's why my lives are not as successful as they are. But honestly, for me to come on here and do a live and I'm low energy, no, I'm not doing that to you guys. I'm not going to bore you that way. And I'm not going to mess up my algorithm that way either. Okay, so let me go on. So step 3, research the brand. Oh, wait, I missed step 2. Check for hair quality. Always look for 100% human hair. Okay, about that human hair, 100% human hair, y'all gotta be real careful, because I don't know if you saw the expose I did just a couple weeks ago about the dark side of the hair trade. The hair trade, by the way, includes how the hair is harvested. Okay, so a lot of times the hair is harvested in very humane ways. I mean, a lot of times they are people, shave their hair off at temples. I guess as a sacrifice for their sins. And then the temple takes the hair and sells it for a profit, which, all right, so that's a thing. And then also there's people, the hair trade has become so grandiose and so big now that so many people with the means to do so are wearing wigs and hair pieces. Other countries that are not doing well, other war-torn countries that are constantly in war, impoverished countries, these countries this is where a lot of the shiftiness happens in the hair trade, because people know that hair is worth something. So the way you and I, we don't, I wear this watch, right? And this is the watch I wear all the time. I wear this watch because it's kind of understated. You won't be able to tell that it is oh my God, I can't speak. Anyway, you can't tell that it's a high-end watch. I have other watches that are more expensive. They're much more flashy. I don't wear them because I don't want to get robbed. I live in New York. I've been robbed before. So at, this point, right? So I don't wear it everywhere I go. People in these crime-ridden countries, war-torn countries, poor countries where, you're happy just to get a bowl of rice a day. That's like considered a treat. These people are still growing beautiful hair. So they are perfect targets for people with, ill intent who want to make a quick buck off of that hair. And it has been reported that women with hair, they have their ponytails chopped off violently as walking down the street. Somebody will stop them, grab them by the hair, and just take their hair. Like, it gets really nasty. And also, it's also been reported that when they can't do when these wig companies can't do any better, and they will lie. They will take hair and they will take fake things and add it to the hair. A lot of the hair that we receive is human hair, but it comes from drains. The drains. It comes from somebody's combing their hair or taking a shower, and then after they've taken their shower, they go to the drain and they pull out whatever hair is left over, and they pull it straight and they tie it into a little rubber band, and they collect that for a month, and at the end of the month they take that hair and they sell it for $1. Not even kidding. Isn't that crazy? So when they say look for 100% human hair, ooh. Be careful. It's not always ethical. And some people are really hurting for it. So, yeah, and it's a thing. Anyway, moving right along. Choose 100% human hair to achieve the most realistic appearance and texture. Request sample or tester kits if available. I've never requested a sample, but I think I'm going to do that next time. That's interesting. Step 3, research the brand. Check online reviews, video unboxings, and customer testimonials. That's another thing. The video unboxes, you don't know. You just don't know. These companies, they pay you to lie. I know it because I've been approached by them. I've had more than three wig brands approach me to offering me a free wig. And they title the email. You open up your email, that item is free wig. And so you click the email, and it's like, hi, I'm such and such from this company, and I'm offering you a free wig. I saw that you have this online platform. I'm offering a free wig. All you have to do is give our product a 5-star review. So I remember the first time I saw that sort of video, I was intrigued. Okay, so you want me to give you a 5-star review and I'll get a wig. Okay, so I responded, okay, so send me the wig, and if I think it's worth 5 stars, then I will give it 5 stars. And they're like, well, no, it doesn't work that way. You got to give me the 5 stars first. This is what we're dealing with when we go online and we look for these reviews. I'm not saying all of them are fake. For sure, I'm not saying that. I'm sure a ton of them are real, but how do you parse out which is real and which is fake? I don't know. It's hard. Listen, who knows? One day I might end up in dire straits. One day I might really need some food. We don't know what this government is going through right now. I might really need some food or something else great in my life. And right at that time, somebody's offering me a free wig for a lie. Will I do it? I don't know. You never, even good people can go bad in the wrong situations, right? Anywho, evaluate customization and support. Can you choose the cap size, hair density, and lace color? Is the customer support responsive? What's their refund or exchange policy? Where do wig companies source their hair from? Understanding hair origin helps you choose the best wig company for your needs. Chinese hair factories, large-scale production, affordable prices, offers various textures and densities. Be cautious about synthetic blends or heavily processed hair. Yeah, that's the part. The heavily processed hair. Once you get into the blonde hairs, it becomes part of that category of heavily processed hair, and that's when you start buying crappy wigs and spending a lot of money on them. Then they say that another source is Indian hair, ethically sourced from temples. Is that really ethically sourced though? If the people who are donating the hair, they're doing it for free, and then the temple head or temple person sells it for a profit, is that ethical at all? I don't know. It is ethical because at least the person was willing to give it up, and I guess they'll go to heaven for cutting it off. Thick natural wave patterns. Yes, I will say Indian women have some thick natural wave patterns. Beautiful hair. Great for long-lasting durability and raw wigs. Chinese hair is also beautiful. Vietnamese. All hair is beautiful. Black hair is beautiful. And I would definitely buy a black hair wig if I knew where to get one. I think the only issue with black hair wigs, if I were to get a black hair wig, would be that it requires a lot of manipulation. Like you have to comb it through, and while you're combing it through, it probably lose from the lace, which I must have a lace wig. I'm not wearing a classic cap wig, so it would probably lose from the hair, and I would end up losing a lot of hair, and then I'd have to keep rebuying it. That was my that was what I dealt with when I was younger. There was a certain time in my life where looking black was very important. I am a black woman, y'all, in case you don't know that. I have two black parents. My dad is half Indian, half black. He identifies as black, I think, because he's more in tune with the black side of his family. My mom is African Jamaican. My dad is Guyanese, by the way. So I'm a black woman. I grew up, when I did have hair, it was big, thick Afro hair. My sisters have big, thick Afro hair. So there was a time when I was really interested in getting the hair that looked like that. And it was so hard to find the kind of hair that looked like that and also looked real. Somehow, they just couldn't get it right. The companies could not get it right. And at that time, too, since we're talking years ago, lace wigs were not a thing. So they did not know how to get the front to look natural. And you typically end up buying a wig that was oddly thick in the front. And I did not know how to handle that. I just remember this odd density in the front. The back would look good. So I used to wrap scarves around my head so that you couldn't see this odd density in the front. And then I would kind of manipulate it somehow to give myself some baby hairs. But it was always a process, and it was always a lot of work. And I really wanted to not wear the headband. You know what I mean? So eventually I just got over it. I don't care if I look black or if I look yellow or if I look blue. I don't care at this point because I just want to wear a wig that's easy. Because I don't want to have to fight with it. This wig that I wear all the time, I can wear a headband if I want, or I can take it off. Okay, so next we talk about Vietnamese hair, smooth, strong, and cuticle aligned, often raw, unprocessed, and sourced from rural donors. Preferred by luxury wig makers for elite clients. I wonder why. What's the difference between raw hair and unprocessed hair? Can someone tell me that? I understand why unprocessed hair is important. Like you want to get the stuff that has not been touched, virgin hair. Don't you love it when you see these big brands label clearly bleached blonde hair as virgin hair? Oh, don't you just love it when they lie to you that way to your face? And I don't know why we go for it. Like, why do we just allow them to lie to us like that? We just give them money. Like, okay, I know you're lying, but I'll take it anyway. That is so bizarre. Red flags to avoid. Stay away from wig companies that use fake or stock images. Oh, I see that so much. I see that on Amazon a lot. And I also see that on like, is it Shein, those kind of companies? Definitely fake stock images. Hi.
Can you get donuts for me?
What's that? They don't sell donuts over there anymore. Yeah, they stopped. I think they have cheese danishes now. And I know you don't eat that.
Gross.
See? I would have gotten you one, honey. They just don't sell them. Did you guys know that Starbucks stopped selling donuts? I just found it out. We had Starbucks for breakfast this morning. Yeah. Anyway, don't list lace type or hair origin. Don't offer any return or exchange policy. Can't show customer reviews or photos, and promote unusually low prices that may signal poor quality or unreliable products. I see that a lot too. It'll be like the most beautiful wig you've ever seen, and they're selling it for $60. Like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? We're supposed to like, well, why do we fall for these things? And a lot of times we fall for it. We know better. We know better. That's what I said. That's the cognitive dissonance that comes with being a wig wearer. We want so badly to have some hair. We have this much money. Here I have $120 and I want some hair. What do I do? Do I go for the wig that's synthetic in my budget that I know is not going to last me very long and that I know is not going to look as real? Or do I go for the human one that costs $160 and then I use my $120 and then charge the rest to my card and hope that this $160 human hair wig lasts me as long as I want it to last? I don't know. And for me, because I'm wearing the highly processed blonde or ash color hair, I know that's not going to last. I just know it. I lived and I learned. You can't trick me again, sir. No more tricking the girl. Anyway, I'm going to get out of this article. I'm kind of tired of reading it. Let's finish doing this makeup. All right. So if anybody's still here, oh, look, all these people are talking to me and I'm ignoring you guys. I'm sorry. I was busy reading. Okay, so Kiki. Hey, girl. Budget will determine your options every single time, Kiki says. She says, hey, girl, I'm off from work today. Lucky you. I'm glad you had the day off. Is it 300 degrees in Jersey like it is here in New York? Folks who have a set schedule for lives are either doing social media full or part-time. Yes, I am doing social media part-time. Kiki says, reputable companies are the best way to ensure that you have a positive customer service experience, especially if you need to do a return or have the wig service. To my knowledge, it's the same. Raw versus unprocessed. Yeah. What's the difference between raw and is that the same thing? Raw and unprocessed? Because every time I see those words, I just default to virgin, which basically means it's unprocessed, right? A lot of times these wigs companies try to use fancy words to describe their products, says Kiki. Yeah, like virgin. How dare you call a bleach blonde wig virgin? I see that all the time. And every time I read the package, I'm just like, this is ridiculous. And I bought it. I took the money out of my pocket and I gave it to the liar. So what do I really expect? Kiki says it's the same, raw and unprocessed. That's so funny that raw and unprocessed are the same thing, but they use the same. It's like an oxymoron. They use it like they just want to stretch out the description. So they say raw, unprocessed hair. Okay. Well, you have to do is say unprocessed. You want to call it raw to give it some more, right? Kiki says, I would hope that no one is buying wigs from Shein. Oh my God, I just read about a girl who's buying wigs from Shein. A lot of people buy those wigs. Customer reviews are shady because companies can always delete reviews and they don't like. Yes, they can. I have written reviews that never actually even made it. Like I write the review, like I'm angry, I'm pissed off. This is a horrible product, and then I look and it's not there because it never was intended to. There's some guy filtering out all the negative reviews and they're not posting them. Also, it's important to use quality products on your human hair wigs. Which products do you use on your human hair wigs, Kiki? I would love to know. I need to get these eyebrows on. I've been sitting over here eyebrowless for far too long. So let's go ahead and do that. Ooh. Let me work these eyebrows out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and seal these brows in. So I've already used my Palmade by Benefit. This is what I use. It covers up the tattoo that's underneath here. If you guys are just joining me, then you may not know that I have tattooed brows that have already turned green, don't get your eyebrows tattooed. Don't do it. I think the microblading works really well for people who have some hair, but is it as good for people who are bald? I don't know. I have seen it look great. I just don't know how it wears over time. I think you have to keep doing it over and over again. I don't know. At this point, after this experience with the with my tattooed brows and how they turned blue, I wouldn't do it again. It's not just the fact that they turn blue, but also the ink begins to bleed, meaning that it spreads. If you ever take like a magic marker and touch it to a napkin and the little dot that you make spreads, that's what happens to tattoos over time. And if you see like old people with their old tattoos, you'll notice it, that their tattoos start to all look like one blob. Like whatever started out as like, I don't know, a skeleton and a skull and crossbones, now it just looks like a very fuzzy skull and crossbones. So at this point, I'm not willing anymore to do tattoos. I don't want microblading, but I will try. We talked about this last time. I will try the press-on brows that are made from human hair, I think. Kiki says, blue brows ain't it? There's no blue brows ain't it. That's why we're doing this work on it right now. Yeah, have you tried those, Kiki? The press-on brows. I haven't tried them yet, only because I have these brows, and I have a feeling that it's going to require me to readjust how they're not going to go. How do I say this? I have a feeling that those brows are not going to align with the brows that are already drawn on. So I'll end up having double brows. That's the real reason why I haven't tried that yet. Kiki says she has brows. Oh, so you showing off? Not everybody has brows, Kiki. Lucky you. I'm really happy for you, though. I'm not a hater. And if I'm going to hate, I'm going to hate out loud so you know I'm hating. Like I just did. All right, let's get some of these brush strokes rolling. You guys were wondering, I'm using the Black Radiance liquid liner in black. You guys, I noticed that when I draw on my brows and I do it on social media, like on my camera, they look crazy on the camera. But I promise you, when I'm standing here looking in the mirror, they look really good. They look really good. I'm gonna try. I don't know, y'all. Sometimes God has a sense of humor. Because why he would make it such a challenge for some people to exist on this planet, I just don't know. And this is not even bad, honestly. Having alopecia is, like, compared to what other people are going through, it's a piece of cake. But even it is hard, right? Kiki says, but I add powder to fill them in when I care. Otherwise, you get what I give. I feel you. She's talking about her brows, by the way. So she says she puts powder on her brows to fill them in. I guess because they're kind of sparse. That's probably what you mean. Okay, so that looks crazy. We're going to fix it, though. We're going to fix it. So I have, that was the black. I'm going to go over it with my brown when this dries. First, let me give myself some blush. My version of blush, y'all, is lipstick. I'm not a fashion guru. When you do a get ready with me, don't expect some big, cosmetology class, because that's as good as it gets. I went shopping for lipstick. I need to go back to MAC, by the way. I've been stalling on that to buy my favorite shade, which is basically this shade, but in a matte formula, which I do like a lot. I like matte lipsticks. When I was there last time, the lady was like, would you like a lip liner to go with it? I was like, for what? I can't see myself like in the middle of the day, like, pulling out lipstick and then following it up with a liner. I mean, for those of you who do it, hey, 100%, you guys are good. You guys are good. But I can't see that for myself. It's just too much. It's too much for me. I do a lot. I do a lot. Like throughout the day, I have to like reapply my hair glue. I have to touch up my lashes. It's a lot. I don't want to be in the mirror all day long. You know what I'm saying? All right. So now that that's this should be somewhat dry now. Is it? Yeah. So I'm gonna go over it with my brown ink. This is, by the way, if you're wondering, this is the NYX Epic Ink Liner, and I have it in color Graham Cracker. So that's basically just to fill in those brush strokes and give it a little bit of contrast. I do recognize it doesn't look perfect, but I feel like if I tried to make it look perfect, I would never leave the house. Oh, it's hard. You just got to get out the house sometimes. Not worry about all those stuff. That's why my bestie, are you still here? My bestie says that she feels like most Black women do not need makeup. They're naturally beautiful. My bestie doesn't wear makeup. And I'm guessing that's the reason why, because who the hell wants to be bothered with this crap? I wear the makeup though. Like I said, I started wearing makeup when I was 12 years old. So it's literally part of my repertoire for decades of my life. So for me to not wear makeup, I feel naked. I feel like I feel like I came outside in my pajamas if I go outside without makeup. Kiki says, "Oh Lord, my grandma used to use lipstick for blush back in the days. That was a throwback." You want to know something? You want to know how I learned that technique? I learned that technique when I was 6 years old. So I'm still using the same blush technique that I learned when I was 6 years old. And I learned it from my sister during picture day at dance school. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder what kind of person I would be if I never lost my hair. I probably wouldn't wear makeup at all. Like thinking about the fact that I still wear the same makeup technique as I did at 6 years old. That's telling, isn't it? Not that I don't like stuff like that, because I really like to dress. Nowadays, for me, what's more important is the makeup. Than the makeup is the jewelry. The jewelry really makes me feel beautiful before I put the wig on. Like I have to, in the morning, have that affirmation that I feel good about myself before that wig goes on my head, because something about that wig just feels like an addiction. It feels a little bit like, the bottle of wine that you have to pick up every night. if you've ever had a drinking habit. I did have a drinking habit at one point, and there was a time I would come home every night. Well, not every night, but I would have 2 glasses of wine every single night. So I found myself at the liquor store 3 times a week. And at one point, I realized it was a bad habit. It wasn't an addiction; it was a habit. But the wig feels the same way. Do y'all know that? Can anybody identify with that? Kiki says, if it works, it works. Yeah, the wig feels like a bad habit. So I like to know I don't absolutely need it all the time. I know I'm still going to put the wig on before I go outside. But I like to know I don't need to. That's why I've been just spending a lot more time bald-headed. When I'm in the house, I'm not in the wig. I used to walk around in the wig all day long. I don't do that. Now I go around that yard with my wig off. Where I never used to do that. But the jewelry really helps. The jewelry really helps, because that just seems like fun to me. It doesn't feel like an addiction or anything like it. It just gets fun. Wigs can be kind of annoying as well. Wigs, they require a kind of work that jewelry never requires. I never have to comb my earrings, right? I never have to deep clean my necklaces. I just put them on. They're so easy. They're so perfect. And they right away elevate me, with or without the wig. All right, so I just cleaned my eyelashes. Those are I change my eyelashes once a week, and I just clean them each night. Overnight, I soak them in a light mix of what is it called? Glue remover. It's this one here. Yeah. I need to buy some more of that too. What is this one? C22 solvent. I just leave it in a little tiny bit of it because if you put too much, your lashes will fall apart. And then by morning time, all I have to do is take a little napkin and the glue comes right off. All right, so then afterwards, after I put the glue on that, then I apply some to my brow, my lash line, let that dry just a second, and then I can go ahead and put this on. But let's go ahead and hear if it works. Girl, these jobs will force you to have 2 glasses every night. That's where I was at. 2 glasses each and every night. And then I noticed, I think, you know what one of my kids said? Somebody said I was the wine mom. That's when I had to evaluate myself. It's like, I'm the wine mom? Okay, we're going to stop this. And it was also my bestie who's on here. I don't know if she's still logged in, but she also challenged me. She was like, oh, Jackie, you have those 2 glasses of wine every single night? And I'm like, yeah, every night. And I thought it was perfectly fine. You know, it's wine, it's red wine. The doctor actually told me that I should drink the red wine to lower my cholesterol. So I was like, it's perfectly fine. So she's like, well, if you drink it every 2 nights, that means you have a habit or an addiction. And I was like, what are you talking about? I don't have no addiction. She was like, well, try tomorrow night. And I tried the next night and I was like, oh, she might have something here. So yeah, between one of my kids saying that I'm a wine mom and my bestie telling me, oh, you have an addiction, I stopped. Was it you who said it, Evan?
That's not something I'd say.
You might have. I think it was Milan though. I don't think it was you. I think you probably held your tongue on that one.
I also would have said that 2 glasses of wine a day is a lot.
What?
I would have said that 2 glasses of wine a day is a lot.
I think at that time, like during that time, like there was a lot going on. That's when I was raising 5 kids and I was working full time. I had a lot of responsibilities then, and I really, really just needed help coming down off of the stress of the day. I don't know if you guys experience this, but when I am in a high, what's the word? Not high level, but
Stress?
high stress, high energy. That's the word. When I'm in a high energy mood, which I found myself in all the time back when I had 5 kids, because work was hard, right? And of course, work was a hard day at work. And then I would have to travel back home on the New York City train. I would have to take a train to the bus. And I used to use a scooter to get me through the rest of the day. Oh my God, I'm so happy that those days are over. That was the hardest time of my life. I would take a bus. No, I would drive to the train station, take the train to the subway, and then from the subway, it was either take a train to the subway or take a train to a bus. So I had an option there. And then from there, I would have to use my scooter to take me to the rest of the day. And then I would have to come home and cook dinner and run after kids and make sure this one had their hair cut and make sure that this one had their homework done and help this one with that, take this one here. It was so stressful. And at the end of each night, I would be shaking and I couldn't wait to get my glass of wine to just calm me down. And it did become a habit. I am so glad those days are over. Oh my God, just going over that with you guys made me remember. I'm going to cry. It was the hardest time of my life. Oh, don't start crying. Okay, we're not going to start crying. We're not doing that. Okay. See, if I start crying, then my lashes are going to come off. What? Let me see. I could tell just by scanning the words on the screen that Kiki's saying some funny stuff right now. Hold on. Kiki says, as long as you aren't the crack mom. Absolutely right. She says, as long as you're not the crack mom, you're okay, but I get your choices to stop. Thank you. I appreciate you so much for that, Kiki. All right. So, although my lashes look weird right now, I'm going to leave them like this because I ain't got no time for that. I'll leave it like this. What time is it? Oh my God, it's almost 2 o'clock. So I'm taking my son to get his hair braided. That's my 3 o'clock appointment. Hopefully, I'll be able to make a stop before we go because I want to hit the mall up real quick.
I can drive, right?
Yes, you can drive.
Also, I just like wash and get ready.
Wash and condition.
Yeah.
You have your conditioner.
No leaving?
Leave-in? I guess you could put in some leave. Look, y'all, my son be asking me all kind of hair. I don't know anything about hair. Look at me. I haven't had hair since I was 12.
So,
Okay, a leave-in conditioner would probably be good. You have a leave-in conditioner?
yeah, I bought it. I bought it when you were away.
Okay, so what happens is in my household, my daughter is the hair person. She's the one who has hair. So whenever any of the boys need hair advice, she gives them the advice. Ellis, my nephew, he seems to have that under control. I think he has girlfriends who like advise him. They do pretty good. He's so he has all kind of things in his room. But my son, who's younger, he relies on my daughter for advice. I don't know why he asks me because really I don't know the answer. Wash and condition it and put some oil in it. What else do I got for you? Nothing else. Okay, so I'm gonna put on my my Zara wig. I'm gonna put on my Zara wig really quick, and then we're gonna get out of here because, as I said, I will be traveling again in the next couple days. My niece is having her first baby. I'm very excited about it. So she's having her baby shower. We're going to drive to Georgia and go to her baby shower. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I'm kind of like her mom. My sister, I don't know if I told you this before, but my sister had suffered a stroke. So that's why I pretty much raised my niece and nephew. She suffered a stroke. She's still here, thank God, but she can't take care of herself. She can't take care of her kids. So right now it feels kind of like oh, Mom, I'm going to cry again. It feels kind of like I'm having my first grandbaby. That's what it feels like. Yo, y'all are bringing out all of my emotions today. Okay, so let me read this. Kiki says, do you ever use double-sided tape rather than glue? No, I don't. I've used it before. I find that it's not as effective, if you ask me, than the glue that I use, which is the BMA Super Hold glue. BMA Super Hold glue. That's the glue that I use when I need glue. But typically, I just go for the Got to Be because it's enough. So yeah, but when I need glue, I go for the BMA. That works really well. I swim in that and everything. Look, y'all made me cry through my nostrils. Okay, the tears didn't come out my eyes. Instead, they came out of my. I think being bullied so much as a child taught me how to really hold back the tears. But lately now, as I'm older, I'm having a harder time. So Kiki, you asked about the tape. Which tape do you use? Clearly, you use the tape and like it. So which tape do you use? And why did you choose the tape over the glue? Is it because it's messy? Is it because the glue gets leaves residue on your wig? Because it does. It does leave residue on the wig. I don't care though. I don't care what the inside of my wig looks like. Honestly, I'm gonna throw my wig away in a month, so I don't care. Okay, she said, Catherine H says, congratulations on my first grandchild. Thank you so much. I don't know what to cry. What is happening? What's happening? I don't want to cry. Sorry, which glue do you use? Okay, so Catherine wants to know which glue I use. And yo, this glue is great and it's very inexpensive. I can literally pick it up from the beauty supply store. Every beauty supply store carries it. Well, let me not say every beauty supply store because that's not always true. I always walk with it wherever I go. So this is the bag that I carry with me everywhere. It contains some jewelry. I haven't been unpacking it lately because I've been traveling so much. I have some jewelry in here. And then I have all my daily essentials, including some glue. I don't wear, like I said, I don't use glue every day. But when I do, it's this one. It works really well. You just have to take some, it's a mess, isn't it? It's disgusting. It looks gross. I mean, it is glue, so anything, like the makeup always gets on it. So what I do is I put enough there. I usually only put it here at the temples. I put a little bit along the hairline. And then I like to let it sit. Here's the thing. It depends on the situation. Typically, my first application in the morning, right? Let me start again. Typically, the first application in the morning, I will put it on like I just described, and I will sit and let it wait for about 5 minutes before I apply the wig. So I would let it cure a little bit, right? And then once I put the wig on, at that point, I'm pretty certain and confident that the glue won't leave a residue on the wig. That's why I like to do it that way. So I let it sit first before I apply it. But here's the thing. If I'm active, which is usually the reason why I am using the glue, it does lift. It doesn't ever fall off. Let me be clear about that. It never falls off because I'm careful to really apply a lot of that glue in the temple area. This is where it really matters a lot, right here in the temple area. So it doesn't ever fall off, but it does lift, especially in the front. Like you'll be able to see some lifting. So I kind of can't escape the fact that there's going to be some glue residue left behind on the wig. I would like to not leave the residue, but it happens because I'm going to have to reapply it. So when it lifts, then I go right back in. So you'll find me in the bathroom at the resort or at the pool or whatever, and I'll be doing this. Then I'll hold it down at the place and it'll go right back. You know, it never falls off though, as long as you do it the way I just described. And of course I put like a little bit up in the front. I don't bother to do the back. That's a waste of time because your neck will cause the product to separate, the wig to separate. The movement from your neck will cause the wig to separate from your head anyway. So don't even waste your time with that because it will frustrate you. You'll know that it's not secure and it'll make you feel insecure. You know what I mean? I think the security is just knowing that it works. And the only way you know that it works is if you try it out a few times and get into the nitty gritty with the wig, right? Okay, so yeah, if you guys were wondering, I am currently wearing the Zara wig in color. The Zara wig by John Renault. And I'm wearing it. I always forget the name, the color of this wig, even though I've been wearing it for like 5 years. Yo. Terrible. Here's all the wigs I've been wearing. Shaded praline. Shaded praline. That's the color of this smart lace wig. So somebody told me that because of the review, how highly I speak of this wig, they went out and bought it and it looked horrible on them. It made them look ridiculous. So I thought about that. And one thing I never really disclose, I think, and it's because I'm so accustomed to wearing the wig that I actually, the process by which I customize my wigs has become so ingrained that I don't even know I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I know this wig. I know this wig like the back of my hands. And that's why I always return to it. I know what to expect from it. I know I'm going to get 1 month worth of wear from it. I know where there's too much hair and I know how to handle the density and get rid of it. I know exactly how to cut this wig to make it look better for me. Like right now, I don't know if you see it or not, but it's doing this wig thing. Y'all know this wig thing. I know some of you are in the comments going to be like, but that looks pretty. It might look pretty, but it also looks wiggy. Right? Y'all know this is a thing that human hair never does. Why does human hair never do? I mean, like, not human hair. Why does natural hair that's growing out of your scalp never do this? It never does it because nobody has this much hair in the front. And if they do, it's going to be pushed back somehow. You know what I'm saying? So, Kiki says she has the exact same brush. Did I just pull out my brush? See, I didn't even notice I pulled the brush out. That's what I mean when I say that the customization process has become so ingrained in me. I don't even realize that I'm doing it. But I do want to show you guys while we're here how I thin out the hair. So much shedding. That's another thing. They shed a lot. They shed a lot. And you can't help it. Like your own, if you grew natural hair, your hair would shed. So that right there, since the hair doesn't replenish itself, it doesn't regrow. That means these wigs can't last that long. It's going to be bald. And I tend to wear the same wig every single day until it dies. And then I buy a new one. If I switched it up longer, of course it would last longer. Of course I'd be able to keep this wig for a year if I switched between wig and wig. But I like having my one go-to piece that I could just get up in the morning and put on. I don't like a lot of fuss for getting dressed. Kiki says, glue can be messy. It is, but this one is not too messy. This one is not too messy. There's another brand, like the one that comes with the brush. That one is messy as hell. Kiki says, you asked what products I use. I only use Redken and also the silicone mix conditioner. I used to use that a lot too, the silicone mix, not the Redken. I didn't use the Redken. But there was a point when I was really into the human hair wig, and I recently took a glance in my storage box, and girl, I was paying a lot of money for hair creams, hair conditioners, deep conditioners for hair that's not even mine. When I think about it, these things start to wear on me. Like, did I just spend $60 on hair conditioner and I don't even have any hair? I've done that. Like I used to use the, what do you call that one? It's just like number 2. Olaplex. I used to use Olaplex because the blonde wigs, like we talked about in the past, usually the wigs come, if they're blonde, they have been bleached. They started out as black hair that has been lifted to a bleached color. So chances are very likely that that hair has been bleached and damaged, right? Which I find all the time. So I realized that if I use Olaplex, then that damage can be kept at bay. It doesn't reverse damage, of course, because that's not a thing, but it would keep the damage at bay. And it worked. It worked really well. But y'all, that little bottle of Olaplex cost like $40 for a little bottle like this. And you have to wash your wigs all the time. Olaplex is very pricey. Okay, so Catherine, I'm sorry. I showed you the container of the glue that I use, but I did not tell you the name. And I apologize because I know this is an old ratty container, but it's called Crazy Hold Tube Super Lace Glue, and it's by BMA. And no mess. When they say no mess, they actually mean it. That part is not a lie. These companies like to lie, but that part was not a lie. Okay, guys, so I'm all dressed. It's time for me to get out of here. I'm going to make sure that I hit all the news topics that I wanted to talk about before we left. If you guys want to share anything or ask any questions, this is a great time to do it before I leave because I don't want to miss out. I love engaging with the bald girl community because I know once I go outside, I can't find a single soul who's willing to share and talk and be free and discuss their alopecia. People are so guarded today with their emotions, so guarded with everything, like everything, even their emotions. You know, you're not even allowed to say, oh, I feel insecure at this moment, because everybody would be like, oh, girl, you don't gotta be insecure. You need to go see your therapist. Like, if you don't start talking to me like somebody who understands human beings, then we can't be friends. Like, I'm sick and tired of people with these blanket statements being so out of touch. You know what I mean? Like, it's either, and it's like, oh yeah, you got to get over your insecurities, girl. Like, if you don't have insecurities, what human being doesn't have insecurities? Show me that person. And I need to have a long discussion with them. And hopefully they can be bothered with me, because half the time people don't even like to be bothered with you. You know what I mean? Kiki says, after your previous video, I've been studying Lauren Boebert's pics. Yeah, that's a full or half wig for sure. That video was hilarious. I'll give myself a pat on the shoulder for that one, because I actually read that Lauren Boebert video for the first time while I was on camera with you guys. And the way that story unfolded was hilarious. Also, I hate looking at that video though, because my eyebrows weren't on. I was sitting there with halfway done eyebrows. I looked crazy, but I cannot delete it because it was so authentic, and it's so hard to find authenticity nowadays, y'all. Like I said, everybody wants to be perfect. Everybody wants to pretend to be perfect. And even when they're even when they're being transparent, it almost still looks like they're putting on a show. You know what I'm saying? It's so hard to find people to talk to. That's why I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining me. I did say I was going to check over the Ball Girl news topics once again. You know what? In my last live, which I didn't, you guys were not joining me. I talked about this Dallas Cowboys cheerleader who has alopecia, who took her wig off and cheered right alongside the whole Dallas Cowboys cheerleading squad. Her name, let me see. Let me put this up real quick. I forget her name, but I have to look her up real quick. I just want to make sure that I get all the. See, yeah, y'all gotta check out. You know, let me just pull it up here because I know it's easier to find it this way. Okay, we're gonna do this together. I don't know if you guys know this. A lot of you are into sports and I am not. That's why I'm late to the party. Like this happened years ago and I just got wind of it probably a month ago. This outing that Armani Latimer of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleading squad she did of her alopecia. I just thought it was such a bold statement. She was so beautiful when she did it. So let me just go into it real quick.
And turning to some really good news. CBS News Texas is, of course, your official Cowboy station. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, of course we know, entertain thousands of fans every single home game, bringing smiles to faces with their dances and iconic kicks. But as Scott Padgett tells us, during one home game, the iconic white boots take on a whole new meaning.
The My Cause, My Boots Dallas Cowboys cheerleader campaign was started in 2017 to play off a similar campaign launched by the football team. The color of the star on each of the cheerleaders' boots signifies a cause close to their hearts, ranging from suicide awareness to the American Heart Association. This year, one cheerleader took her cause to new heights with one brave decision. 26-year-old Armani Latimer is a living example of confidence and courage. No stranger to performing, she's a 5-year veteran with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Armani's Instagram is filled with her long history of dance, rocking the latest fashions and hairstyles. While she brings joy to scores of fans each home game, she's also been on a more personal journey.
I didn't really understand the magnitude of what it was because at that time it was just a little small spot that I couldn't even see because it was in the back of my head.
At 12 years old, Armani was diagnosed with alopecia, an autoimmune disease that causes hair loss. She's learned to live and cope with her condition, trying everything from sew-in wigs to steroid shots.
That's a painful process. It's not fun to have a needle shoved into your head over and over, just to save hair.
Through it all, Armani never lost sight of her dream to perform on a large stage and be a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. High kicks, precision dancing, and many hair flips. Armani, there's making the team show, and then also training camp, Were you concerned about that at all, or was this just a dream you had?
It was just a dream that I had. I wasn't thinking about all the stress.
Wait a second. This is not even the...
We all have stress.
All right, so this is not even the video where she removes the wig, which is hilarious.
And I wanted to dance for the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. So I knew I would figure out the whole hair thing later, as long as I made the team.
When Armani made the team, she wasn't wearing a wig. But for some, added stress can trigger the condition. For Armani, her hair loss increased. She lost all her hair, something she kept very private until recently. It was Monday Night Football, Cowboys versus the Bengals, when Armani showed the world her truth. Armani made a brave and impactful decision.
I think just knowing how special I felt in that moment with all of my teammates surrounding me and having my back, and just knowing that me going out there without my wig was going to start a conversation, and a big one.
A moment seen by more than 80,000 fans in the stadium, tens of thousands more on TV.
I think at first I was a little overwhelmed with how many cameras there were out there, but I think once we got to our triangle formation, that iconic formation that we see photos of, it was just, I was having fun. All of my teammates were, screaming behind me, yelling my name, so you can see the tears in my eyes.
Armani danced for those who live with alopecia, for 12-year-old Armani who struggled to understand the condition, and for those recently diagnosed. What do you want to say to them? They've just heard it.
Alopecia is nothing to be scared of. It's nothing to be upset about. Just know that your difference makes you 10 times a better person than you think you will be, and it's just an added bonus of your personality, and your character. Your hair does not define you.
Scott Paget, CBS News, Texas.
Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome. Can any of you guys in the comments share with me why you believe alopecia may have made you a better person or a more interesting person? I feel like alopecia made me a more interesting person. I don't know if it made me a better person. Kiki says she's got to go. Got to run. Have a great day. Thank you so much, Kiki. Enjoy the rest of it. Try to stay cool. I don't know if it made me a better person, but it definitely gave me some layers. And I'm really, really happy that I chose to go public about it in this way. Because when we didn't have social media, when social media wasn't an option, I really wanted to go public, but I didn't want to do it outside. I had tried it. I didn't like how I was treated by the public. I didn't like how differently people looked at me than they did the day before when I was wearing the wig. The stark contrast between how I was treated just the day before hit hard. You know what I mean? It was like, wow, yesterday people were so different than they are today. And that was hard thing to grasp. And I gave it a good chance. I gave it probably like a week or two. And I did this a few times in my life, but I never really liked the way I was treated as a bald woman. So I'm really glad that social media gave me the opportunity, gave me the space to be able to go public about it, but within my own parameters, in a kind of safe way where I get to decide when I want to talk about it, and when I want to be vulnerable. You know what I mean? Because that is a thing that when people used to approach me about my alopecia, I would feel very vulnerable, and I don't want to be that vulnerable in my daily activities. Really, I don't. Which kind of negates what I just talked about how people are so guarded. I too am guarded, but I'm allowed to not be guarded here on social media with you guys. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I love having you here today. Let me go ahead and make sure that my logo is here, because that's an important part of who I am. There you go. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you had fun. I had a ton of it, and have a great day. Peace. See you again soon.